If you have notes that are bubbling and gurgling on your oboe, don't panic. You don't need an expensive repairman. All you need is a cheap piece of cigarette paper. That bubbling and gurgling sound you hear is water trapped underneath the keys in the tone holes. And so when the air tries to get through, the water blocks it and it messes up the tone. The first step to fix the problem is to swab out your oboe. When I swab my instrument, I like to take it apart because I think it's easier to work with smaller pieces than the whole long oboe. But before I do that, it's a good idea to try to figure out which key has the water under it. And you can do that by noticing which notes have a gurgle. For example, if it is any of the keys using your second octave key, this one right here, when you push the second octave key down, the first hole that's opened is this one at the top, right here. So that is going to be the culprit if your second octave notes are the ones gurgling. At the last concert I did, I had an issue with my C gurgling. So when you play C, it's hard to get it all in the frame here, but it's this top one and this top one, so both your index fingers. So when you play those, the first hole that is opened is this little guy right here. So that is where the water was getting stuck. Another common place is your first octave key. When you push that, the first one that comes up is this one here. So the most common places to get stuck are the tiny holes, like the octave keys and this C vent key right here. To recap, to figure out which hole has the water, it's going to be whichever is the first hole that is open when you play that note that gurgles. So after you have that figured out, you can swab your instrument. So carefully remove the bottom joints and take your silk swab. Put the little weight in through the bottom end and feed it through. And as always, if there's any tension as you're pulling, don't force it because we don't want to get it stuck. If you feel any tension, that usually means it's tangled or there's a knot in your swab and it's really hard. You would have to call a repairman to get it out because it's so small inside of your oboe. So mine's pulling freely, so I just keep pulling it all the way through. Then after I've swabbed, I will find the offending key. In this case, I don't have any that currently have water in them. So we will just say it's my second octave key to use as an example. So I will take some ungummed cigarette paper. You can buy this at double reed stores or I assume a gas station maybe? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I got mine from a music store. But this will last you forever, so I've had it a really long time, so I can't even remember where I got it from. So you take a piece of the paper, and you will put it underneath the key that has the water. So if it's your second octave key, you'll push down the key, and put the paper underneath, and put the key back down. Then you'll lift the key back up and pull it out. And if there's water, you'll see a drop of water on your paper. And you just keep doing that until there is no more water and it comes out dry. Sometimes that will be enough to fix the problem, but sometimes the water inside has created a trail, so next time you blow in it, any moisture from your mouth is going to follow that trail and go right back into the key. So the way to fix that is we're going to put the paper back under the key again. Then we're going to cover all of these holes and cover this hole. Then without the reed, we are going to blow through the top of the instrument and then open and close our second octave key so that any of the water in the instrument will go out through that tone hole and get dried up by the cigarette paper. So you would blow in it and at first you have all the holes covered so none of the air can come out. But then you'll open and close that second octave key. Like so. And then it should have gotten all the water out. And if there is water, you'll see it on your paper. So I would just keep doing that until your paper comes out dry. And that's all there is to it. When you're learning the oboe without a private teacher, little tricks like this can save your solo in a concert. If you want more practical survival tips for the oboe, make sure to hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next lesson.